What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, class swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Albert's in the house. Good morning to you. We got Amy, Anna, Brad, Brian. Good morning to Cheryl, Frank, Jay, Jeff, Joe, JT. All the J's are in the house. Good morning to Lisa. Good morning to Martina, Mike, Peter, Rick. We got Rock joining us. Good morning to Shane. Tim is rocking with us. Good morning to all my people out in YouTube land. Oh, my lurkers in the background not saying nothing. That's okay. I still love you. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons. But Friday, uh, just kind of reminiscing back on the rest of this week. That was crazy. That was crazy week. Ultimately, though, ultimately, and we'll see where today is because this is Monday. Obviously, complete disaster. Uh, we did nothing but retest, and we kind of closed almost right where we opened the entire week. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. But on this chart, if we switch this over to a weekly, it was a whole weekly retest gap. We're at that retest spot now. We did come in, we did retest. There's a little harame, I guess, back from April 15th week and April 22nd. We kind of came back. We retested all that. We have the opportunity, and this is where today's going to be important. Even though I don't think we have a lot of data coming out, I don't think we really have any reports coming out. So I think we're safe in the no news land. But can we close above this pivot 523.93? That's still going to look like we retested. We're still going to have a wick up here. On a weekly basis, we're right at that 20 EMA. We closed above it, opening below it. So it's going to be an interesting day to see actually how this closes. Back, that was the retracing, and we start moving higher, or sentiment from that gap down is still in play. We're still bearish, and at that point, we've just retested and kind of making new lower lows. So this candle going to be extremely important. If this one starts to break down for the week, that's going to tell us we at least come down to this 494 zone, or we are in for quite a little bit of a bigger pullback to this 460, 458 zone on a weekly basis. So there's still a lot of room to the downside, and we're just kind of in limbo for right now. We'll see what happens. But on a daily basis, we have yesterday's VPOC did close a new higher high from this week. So for the most part, all this week we've been closing at higher levels. We're not opening above it though. We ran right back into the resistance is 531.17. Ran right back into that. We did reject it. That's the level we're gonna have to close above. If we could close above that today, that might set us up actually for a little bit of a further bullish pop for next week. Again, I don't think we're making all-time highs yet. I think we probably have to get some kind of pullback first, but that could set us up where we might see somewhere next week 542.10. Otherwise, today for support, we're gonna want to hold this 526.49 zone. So if we could hold that, I'll call it 526.50. Great. If we start to lose that, it gets a little bit uglier. The next spot down to retest is 521, but that means we took out the entire candle from yesterday as well. And then I think coming into next week, this weekly candle will look like a little bit of a retest and almost a inverted hammer type setup. So I think starting next week, we would start a little bit to the bearish side. So we have a couple levels on SPY, and we'll see where they want to close this thing, because I think we're still in that limbo zone. We got the Qs with a little bit of a pullback as well. So down $2 at open. We have resistance 448.11. That can't be. Did we put a tweezer in? What's the high of this one? 449 is the high, and we didn't. We missed it by a penny. Very, very close to tweezer tops. It's probably as close as you could get. That's like the Price is Right rule for tweezer tops. That's as close as you could possibly get to tweezer tops if that closes right there. Interesting. At a good resistance as well. Otherwise, are we all doom and gloom for the Qs? We're gapping down a little bit. I can't really say we're doom and gloom quite yet. The key spot I'm looking for is yesterday's VPOC. That's somewhere around, come on down. The price is right. 446 even. So I'm looking at 446 as support. We start to break that. I think it starts to get a little uglier. Next little support 443.40. And if that starts to break again, that takes us back to 435.81. That's going to be a bearish engulfing candle from yesterday. That's going to get quite ugly. And I think that would tell us there's definitely some more, especially if we end up breaking this 435. After all this run, we retested, we start breaking. So we actually could have a little bit of downside. I can't call that one yet. We still have some support. We'll see if that support holds. But as soon as that starts to break on cues, I'm looking for the bearish plays. And then huge resistance on cues, 448.11. So a little bit of chop. We are opening at the support. It is a little bit of a pullback, but again, just another monster day that we had yesterday. Pretty decently strong close. Whew, this market is getting crazy. Yeah, I see a couple tickers coming in, but let me know. Santilla says, I feel like I haven't seen Santilla in a minute. How you been? Market is going to sell again, all in the red. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not coming up on YouTube. You found me after a week. Make sure you guys subscribe to Real Life Trading on YouTube. And then if for some reason, because there's other YouTube channels that I subscribe to as well. But if for some reason the video doesn't come in, just the algo is just all over the place. Unfortunately, I can't control that, but you could always just click on Real Life Trading and click live. It'll come up. We'll see. But unfortunately, that means short Google, I think. All right, let's see some of the tickers we got. Today is 5R Friday. All right. It's possible if we break that support and we're leaning short on something. Yeah, because the short side could get ugly last day of the week. We'll see. LRCX. Let's go to a little longer term view. We've got some kind of resistance coming in somewhere around 834. So about $15 to the higher side. $19 to the higher side. Otherwise, first resistance comes in 827.94. We broke one decent volume candle. The next one is here. I think this is going to be a good resistance for today. Somewhere around 827.94. We'll call it 828. A little bit of a retest gap from yesterday. I don't know how much this one wants to retest because that is still inside day. So I would see if there's a little bit of a pullback, get better risk to reward, but I'd probably stay bullish with it. Good double bottom. Yep. If this one comes back down, even to a retest of 800, you probably have a better spot on it. Let's add this one to the list. I don't think I can take anything out of the gate on it, but we could get it higher. I'd probably only go long on this one if it does pull back. Pull back a little bit, have some profit taking. As a swing trade, maybe though. Swing trade, even swing trade though, I'd still want to try to catch it at like 790. But we'll keep that one on the list for now. Google, I've already said I want to short Google. Let's see if the market agrees. Yeah, they're telling me go all in short because YouTube algo, really that's the only reason. We dead in the water. It is a gap and go. I think that's a pretty fair gap and go. Although yesterday was still an inside day from day before, so really not that much emotion. We got above it for a little bit. Bears came, clapped it right back down. You're at one level of support right here. So this could all be the retest. This is 159.04. I don't think I'd want to go bullish. Probably looking for some kind of bounce first. See how this 159.58 does. But if at open or if at any point during the day we do start to break kind of the level we're at now, we start breaking 159. I think there is a short there to take, probably down to that 200. With the market range that we do every single day, I think 2% days now. We haven't had a 2% day in like 2 years. We've had like 3 this week. That's pretty crazy. But Yeah, you're at that last level of support, so I would like to see how this thing kind of opens. If this one wants to break down first, bounce up, retrace this the same spot we're at now. I think that would be a good spot to go short. I really don't want to mess with those bears or the bulls who got in there. They're trapped at open, but this is a little bit of support. So if I was in this thing, I probably wouldn't sell here. If I bought Google yesterday, I don't think I would sell yet. See if that support holds, and then maybe some more bulls might want to come in. So right now, I think it would be a fade higher, but how much higher? I don't know. Not sure. PayPal. PayPal had a great close yesterday. Key spot for me, actually, 2 days ago was two. No, no, no. Good. 2 days ago was an okay close. It looks like we closed. Uh, no, I wouldn't even say that's a good close. We closed at 62.74. My number is 63.33. So that gap up was a lot more impressive. I do have us coming down yesterday. We retested that support. That was a huge resistance. So I do think we have some more room on PayPal to move higher. Next target probably about 65.59. This is a inside day candle. Probably a good spot. See if this one wants to retest the 64.29. I'm actually going to throw this one higher on the list too because we do have a little bit of room. But see if this one comes down a little bit. You do have a good range higher, so not a lot holding it back. I think IWM was still gapping up last time I checked. So was SPY and Q's disassociating itself. IWM, which PayPal-ish type companies. I don't know if it's quite PayPal, but in the vicinity of. The trade desk, so they had earnings, I believe. So they beat by 9% earnings per share, 3 cents. And then they also came in with an additional surprise upside beat of 6.52 million. So not bad on that. We are gapping into a little bit of congestion up here. Some moving averages kind of coming in. I think we have a little bit further to go. I think you have to wait for a pullback. This would be a retest gap. Question is to where. The first spot I would look for is like $90.48. I'd be a little bit more comfortable getting an order right around 90. Seeing if we push into that support and then your stop is anywhere below like 89.50. So I don't think I'd really want to see a full on retest. That means that I think the bulls have given up too much. Small pullback, I would say good contender for a high wave. We get a high wave candle on TDD. Um, Targets could be a little rough, so that's why we're gonna need a smaller setup. My target would be about 92.26. I don't have a reason why that should break. It could. Anything's possible. But for right now, that seems like a really, really strong resistance, and we're about $2 away from it. About dollar 27 away from it right now, pre-open. So give me that little high wave candle. We might be able to make something, but concerned a little bit about the range on it. Otherwise, decent earnings, not bad. All right, we got crowd. Crowd looked good. Crowd looked good yesterday, and crowd looked good today too. Yep, still got some range on it. I think we hit a little resistance on this one, probably about 248.07. Real target for me would be about 254.98. So, question is, can we break that today with if the market is selling? I don't know. Probably not. This would be a retest gap from yesterday as well. So again, I would be looking for a small pullback here into the 241.25 range. Get myself a little bit better risk reward, but CrowdStrike, yep, definitely moving that slightly higher on that list too. Again, that's the first target for me, 255. That's still about $15 to the higher side. And then I think we have the opportunity to hit 261. I don't know if we hit that today though. So we shall see. But crowd, I was looking at that one pre-market as well. Looks fairly decent. Shopify. Really good close yesterday. Nice strong candle at least. Where did we close into? We closed right into that resistance of 68.65. So we closed right into it. Right now we're gapping down below yesterday's VPOC as well. Even though that has a great bullish candle, I think you have better risk to reward to the short side. Not saying it's going to happen, but see if you get a little pullback even into the 200 range. We're also at this point opening below this resistance or support 67.71. Next spot down gives us like a 66.25. That takes us right into that 200. And that takes us about 50%, 618 of yesterday's move. So I think Bulls probably sitting right there at the 200. That would give you some room down for a fade bearish, probably at open. And again, you have decent risk reward. If we start breaking through some of that prior resistance that we're gapping under now, you could probably lower the stops down, try to bail on the trade, something like that, if it's not moving in your direction. But we'll look for shop. Shop short looks decent for a smaller pullback. Shop short, I wouldn't be going for the 5R trade or 2R trade, but a 1.2 would be decent for me. Want to be in that thing short time frame. Nvidia. Mm, I got support and resistance all over the place. All over the place in this range. So we're just hanging out. Nothing too crazy. Mm, if I was to go bullish, you can flip a coin and maybe the coin lands on its side and the stock does nothing today. It's very rare that Nvidia does nothing. Big resistance on this one is somewhere around 105.86. So you're gonna want to break out of that. To the support side of things, you have really not as much support. I think that resistance is slightly better, but you got 104.43. If it breaks that, you probably have room back to this $167 mark. If it could break out of this 106 zone, you're still going to get hit with 108.18 as a little bit of a consolidation spot, I guess. But we already hit that once, so that's a little bit more likely to break. And then I think your targets would be up to like 112.22 if we're going bullish. So it's got some opportunity out of the gate, probably just chop fest. But once we get some kind of a break in either direction, so be patient with that one. Meta had a good day yesterday as well. Um, Depends on when this one opens. I'll just see it jumping around a little bit right at that support zone. Next target on this one about 513. They have news today too. These stocks showing Meta and Eli Lilly as the biggest winners this earnings season. Yada yada yada. Jobs are over. Two jobs over inflation. Why Fed? Okay. No real news on Meta. Not not that I see anyway. Interesting spot on Meta. I think it's actually ready to go pretty close to open. I would probably remain bullish on this one. So that is your 50% retracement. We are at a support. If it starts to break, the next spot to hold would be about 499.27. I don't think I want to give that much up. We're also pretty much right back at the opening price of 2 days ago. So I think we have a decent support here. First target to me would obviously be the highs of yesterday, 509.66. If the market does want to bounce a little bit and we get some strength, I think 513.37. Uh, I think I don't know if it's my favorite play of the day. Pretty close to it, but I think it's one that we could focus on at out of the gate. The other ones we kind of have to let some kind of either pullback happen or not. This one would be give me a small setup, give me a pre-market break on Meta might be interesting. Okay. Paramount Global Domination. That looks interesting. Let's see, now that might be my favorite. Finviz. What's their short float? I thought they had a high short float. 9.41. I like you. Good volume yesterday. They had earnings. Okay. So we could attribute some of that volume to the earnings. They still missed by 411 million. They crushed earnings per share. Target on this one for me would get us up to about $11. So that's only going to give us like 30 cents. So we might have a tighter range. Probably, man, we're opening at this resistance right here. All right. So I'm going to give this one some time at open. I'm going to see if we can get that pullback into most likely this 1057. Still only going to give us about 40 cents to the upside. Maybe I'm just used to looking at like the metas and I mean, 40 cents on a $10 stock is a decent move. Seems so small though, but it's definitely got some room up. We got a good short float. We could squeeze a little bit. I would want to be out by $11, not time frame. All right, I'm gonna put that on the list. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. Ducks as a 10%. You coming in with some higher short floats than Para today. Okay. Ducks, Duximity. Let's see what this one is doing. Quite the gap. Quite the trap. Highest volume zone is 3271. That is a good short float. If what you're telling me is true, and I have no reason to believe it's not, you are squeezing a lot of bears. Now my question is, how do I want to play this one? Do I want to let this thing come down first? If I can get it off of 3268, I'd feel like a hero. I don't even care if I lose. Or are we going to open up and fly? Let's get this one on the list. I'm going to watch it. It is a pretty big gap up. You are trapping a lot of bears. Again, not a stock I've traded before. But yeah, 3268 for me would be a very interesting spot. Get down there. That's where most of this volume might want to get out if you're short, take the loss, and then let the bulls kind of bounce from there. All right. All right. Rock says TSM. Rock Goldwood. What is this the same rock or is this just is there another rock out there with a instead of full wood, there's a G? Is there two rocks with just one letter off that just happened to stumble upon real life trading? That's wild. Sorry. You typoed your own name? You have to deduct those SAT points. You get 400 just for getting your name right. All right, we got TSM. You're gapping up on TSM. You are into a little bit of resist. Oh, there's another one related to this one. Which would be AMD, at least pre-market. This one does have a little resistance, so I look for targets somewhere around 170.36. This is also a retest gap. I'd almost want to see if we can get a little bit higher and look for a fade. Um, just because it is that retest gap, you have probably at this point a lot of people profitable on this one. If anybody just buys any dip possible. AMD, however, we could run into some issues. We had a good day, great close, above all the other bear closes or opens. So not bad there. I do have to deal with this resistance at 137.57. Next target for me would be about 139.87. Maybe we get into this 140.68 zone. But I like this location a lot. Even though it is gapping down, I think we were just kind of at that support. But AMD is going to go pretty high on my list to see. Maybe we get some. What do we got? 4 minutes till the market opens. There's two of them, right? What was the two that I liked? Meta and AMD for like out of the gate. Out of the gate. Palantir we did look at already. Kind of running out of a little time. Ken says Max N. We'll go to that one next. Uh, Max N. If that's the correct ticker, I'm not going to day trade this one. Yeah, it's a penny stock. So for me, I want to trade anything at least above $5. Longer term picture, that's looks like a chart of death. for now. So if you know what the company does, you like the company, you don't think they're going to bankruptcy and go to zero, um, probably not a bad spot to go long term, but you'd really have to know what this company does, make sure they make money, make sure they make cash. I would still probably not even. This is like one of those opportunities where if you invest a little bit, you could make a whole lot if it works. But yeah, for day trade wise, it's just a little too cheap. MGOL. This one does get into the $5 zone. Might have a high short float. MGO Global. You got a good double bottom on it. Not sure where those random volume candles there. Looks like there was some kind of a split. 1 to 10. So is that a reverse split? Yeah. Yeah, they had a little split on them. You have the 200 kind of coming in on it. You can watch it. I know nothing about this company. As of 24 hours ago, it was under $5, and now they're jumping it up. Let's see. IWM is up. Yeah, so IWM, that looks a little bit different. We actually have a little gap. But we were even with this though, we were gapping up a full dollar. We're actually gapping down 8 cents now, or 9 cents. Yeah, pre-market before we were looking, it was up about a dollar from here, so that one kind of came down. Bitcoin for real virtual demand. I almost missed you. I almost missed you. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. USD. Bitcoin had a nice little pump yesterday. Obviously, just absolutely monster move. Looks like it is pulling back slightly. Makes sense. Look for some kind of support around 59,728. You also have the 200 there. That'd be a great spot for some kind of a balance after just monster day. You get a mini pullback, and then again, maybe all of this. We didn't really even hit the next target. We got into a little resistance, I think, from here. Yep. So that's the resistance we stopped at. The next one probably about 64,439. If this holds, this 5960 660 and that 200, otherwise we make another little pushback all the way down to 57K. All right, let me see if we can get some pre-market plays out there. That'd be fun. AMD, for right now, looks like we got an extra minute or two. Maybe getting above this current candle would be okay, but then you got some more kind of volume. Meta looks like the one to focus on, and that one's starting to break already. Dang it. All right, so Meta is going to be my heavier focused one out of the gate. AMD, short second, and then we have a couple other ones we could look to try to take advantage of. But everybody on YouTube land, you guys are absolutely incredible. Have a great weekend. Be safe today. Let's see how this weekly candle closes.